let's talk about the Chauvet DJ GigBAR 2. So I've had these for quite some time. I started buying the original GigBAR and then started buying the GigBAR 2s when the upgrade came out. And I've never done a review on them, mostly because I just kind of felt like it's very common light. A lot of people know what a GigBAR is, what it does. You either like it or you hate it. But I decided to throw out a review this time around just because, you know, I'm probably pretty late in the product cycle as well, but I decided to throw out this review just to throw out a couple of critiques. Now, I'm going to start with a few things. You might accidentally hear me say Chauvet DJ because I was calling it Chauvet DJ for as long as I can remember. It wasn't until I started going to trade shows that I heard all the Chauvet DJ people pronouncing it Chauvet DJ. And so anyways, you might hear me say Chauvet. Don't hate me too much for that, but Chauvet DJ. Well, let's just dig right into it. So first of all, I like to start with the accessories. So let's first talk about the tripod. So the tripod case, you're gonna get, it's very thin material. You're gonna get a lot of holes in it, and it will not last as long as your light. I can tell you that. Now, for the tripod, this also is junk and will not last as long as your light does. And the reason I say it's junk is mostly because actually this one still has it. I'm going to try to keep it in the video here, rested on my foot. So, you know, normally, you know, you bring the thing up, tighten it, it stays, right? And then there's an extra pin to put through to lock it in place. But one of my things that I don't like, see if you can see this in the video, put it in the right spot. There's this little plastic piece right here. And we rent these out and I send them out with other DJs. If you're buying this for yourself, this might not be an issue. But what winds up happening when I send these out on rental, when I send them out with other DJs, is they overestimate how long the pole is, and they pull it out. And next thing you know, you hear that, and all of a sudden, that little plastic piece is gone. More than likely, it'll fall out the bottom in transport. But next thing you know, that's the tightener that tightens the pole. So, next thing you know, that doesn't work. Or you're missing it, so your tightener doesn't work. Let me put this back together quick before I lose it on this one. This is actually probably the only one that I own that has this. And just for example, I think we own maybe 8 or 9 GigBARs, and I only have 3 stands left. So not just that piece, just in general, they will just break. So what I actually do, which is surprising I haven't done it to this one yet, because these will get lost by rental customers too, just spinning them all the way out. But sometimes what I do is I take out this plastic piece, I take this out, and this little silver loop here, I just zip tie it right here and just leave it to where all I use is the pin. And I'm actually surprised I didn't do it to this one, because usually I just preemptively do it to every single one of my GigBAR stands. And that's just because it is such a common issue with rental customers, even with my DJs, losing the twist knob, losing that, and if they lose the twist knob, they have lost this. So that's why I kind of preemptively do it, because if I zip tie it to it, at least I know this part isn't going to be lost. But I have had that lost. I've had DJs call me, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Find a screwdriver, find a stick, find something to stick through that hole. You're going to have to make it work for the night. But I don't buy replacement stands of those. I actually buy the OnStage. I can't think of what the model number is. I will throw it down in the description when I upload the video. But it's OnStage's 10-foot speaker stand / lighting stand combo stand. And I do that because, well, one, it's 10 feet tall, so it's taller than the original GigBAR stand. It doesn't get like super crazy tall, but 10 feet is definitely tall enough for a GigBAR. And then on the other hand, you can also use it for a speaker. Sometimes we just rent out one speaker and they want a stand. So it's a perfect little combo stand for our rental inventory. So I highly recommend that stand. It's very heavy duty. I have had 0 issues with that stand so far. So the other thing I just will make note of, the zipper still works in this one, but they use a very cheap, chintzy, tiny little zipper. Chances are, eventually, your zipper will not work on this case, which is also kind of the problem on this one here. You know, I wish, they do have a heavier duty zipper. You can see it's silver, looks a little heavier duty. But I do have cases where the zipper on this one has gone bad. The case itself is awesome. I really do like the case. The zipper tends to be the failure point, and I can't imagine it'd be a whole lot more money to throw just a higher quality zipper on there. That's what I would like to see. Otherwise, I do like the case. Now, on to the light. First, cable management. Don't do that when you're setting up for your gig. Velcro it down the pole nicely. Anyways, that's my little pro tip. But as far as the light goes, definitely, this is probably the #1 item in our rental inventory and in our DJ inventory just in general, because it goes out with our do-it-yourself DJ package, it goes out with our entry-level DJ package, our one step up where you get 2 GigBARs. It doesn't go out with our high-end DJ shows, but the first and second, and it goes out with any combination of speakers. That's why it's the #1 item in our inventory. It gets used a lot. So I do like the light. So here's another thing, a little disclaimer I want to say right off the bat. Even products I like, I will say things that I would like to see improved on them. Sometimes I get people commenting saying, oh, an engineer's smarter than you designed the light, they designed it that way for a reason. Well, okay, maybe they designed it that way for a reason. But I'll tell you what, if they designed the GigBAR perfect the first time, there wouldn't be a GigBAR 2. And that's my point. Companies are always upgrading their equipment, they're always changing things. You know, and it's user feedback that gives them the ideas of what needs to be changed, what needs to be improved upon, because sometimes an engineer, you know, sitting in an office designing a light that he thinks is really cool isn't quite as practical out in the real world. So when I give a review, whether I hate the product, whether I love the product, there's usually 1 or 2 things I can find that I would like to change about it. And, you know, maybe the product's perfect for you, it might not be perfect to me, and I'm just giving my ideas of where I see that there could be a little bit of room for improvement. So, that being said, from the GigBAR 1 to the GigBAR 2, there's really not a whole lot of difference. It's all the exact same lights. The only difference is up here they put UV and white in, and then the power cans and the derbies went from, I believe, 1 watt to 3 watt LEDs. Overall, like I said, I do like the light. You know, I mean, it's the perfect mix of lights to make a light show. Let's try to think here. The only failure point that I've had on the light is sometimes either the red or the green laser will go out. You know, the laser is a little chintzy. I haven't really ran into, you know, I haven't been too upset about it, let's put it that way. The laser's cool, but it's not the main part of the light. So if red or if green goes out, I don't find it that big of a deal. I don't buy a replacement laser for it, I just leave it as is. But that is the one failure point that I have seen with this light. Otherwise, overall, I really like the light. I like that they incorporated UV. You know, I don't really know what else to say about it. It's a good light. It's all in one. It's quick to set up. It's quick to tear down. I mean, it's dramatically reduced our setup and tear down times, especially for the smaller gigs where you're going in. Maybe you're not getting paid a whole lot. You can throw this up, plug it in. You got your remote. I will say I don't use the foot controller. Might be handier for a band. I'm not a huge fan. Like if I wanna, if I wanna go sound active or fade, I just wanna push a button. I don't wanna be stomping through a structured menu to get to the fade. So I don't use the foot controllers. I've actually just chucked all my foot controllers. I prefer the remote. And I like that it's the exact same remote that comes with, I think, every Chauvet fixture that uses a remote. So universal. I've had rental customers lose remotes for the GigBARs actually quite regularly. And it sucks to have to buy a replacement because they're $20 a piece. But I had bought a bunch of the EasyPar T6s, and every single one of them came with a remote. And I keep 8 of those lights to a case, and I only include one remote with the case. So I've got just a stack of extra remotes, which is really nice. But it does suck if you have to buy an extra one because this little thing's $20. Might be more now that prices have been getting increased. But if you have any questions about this light, make sure you throw it down in the comments section. I don't have too much to say about what I like about it. You can see what it's doing in the background here. But right now I'm going to go through the things I do not like about it. And it all comes down to the programming end of it. In my opinion, this was designed for the mobile DJ. A lot of wedding DJs use it. And I feel like the programming could be better for a mobile DJ. So let's say I'm doing a school dance, I'm doing a wedding dance, I'm going to throw on a slow song next and everybody's going to slow dance. Why is it strobing? I hit fade. I want just a nice smooth fade for the dance floor. Why is it strobing? Like that makes no sense. I hit the fade button. So even when I rent these out in a do-it-yourself DJ package, I have to tell people, if you're doing a slow song and you want a nice fade, press fade and then strobe, strobe, strobe. There we go. It's fade, strobe, strobe. To get the strobe to shut off. And I feel like, guess what? This is a nice fade. Why have the strobe come on when you press the fade button? The GigBAR 1 was that way, the GigBAR 2 is that way. I find it very irritating to go to play a slow song, I want to fade. Nope, it's going to start strobing. Fade, strobe, strobe. And sometimes if I have it really high up on my 10-foot stand, you've got to get like just the right angle and your arm up in the air for the sensor to catch it. Because the sensor, so if the sensor's here, it doesn't like a signal coming up like this to it. The signal has to be more straight into the sensor. So sometimes if I do have them up really high at a gig, I'll have to throw my arm in the air and try to catch the sensor with this remote. So getting it to trigger once, with good batteries, getting it to trigger once, even right here I had a little bit of issue with it because I'm coming at it from kind of an angle when I was hitting the strobe button. So it's annoying to have to hit a button 3 times for a slow song. I want to be able to just go bam, fade, and it's fading. Now, so that's critique number 1. Critique number 2 comes in with the sound activation, or just the general programs in general. So I got it on sound active right now. At least it should be. Okay. So my issue with sound active is that it's very stroby. Now I was tapping it pretty slow there, but if you're doing a fast song, it shoots through all the lights really fast. So sound activation is beat this light's on, beat this light's on, beat this light's on, beat this light's on. And I'm just not a very big fan of that kind of sound activation. Like, I don't just want the lights to just strobe all over the place. It'd be nice if, when you have it in sound activation, you've got 10 buttons down here to change how the light acts in sound activation. But every single one of the programs is stroby. The only thing these 10 buttons do is 0 is all on, and then 1 through 9 is just like, oh, I just want the derbies on. Oh, I just want this on. Oh, I want the derbies and the strobe light, or derbies and the laser on, or I want just the par cans on. And I'm just not a fan of that. So then all you get is just the par cans strobing with the beat, you know? What I would like to see is 1 through 10, you know, maybe 0 is the all-on, everything's kind of strobing, high-energy light show. Cool. But say I'm not doing, you know, say I'm playing a fast song, but maybe it's country, I don't want the dance floor strobing like crazy. Why couldn't number 1 be like a nice usable light show? Like UV solid on. Par cans on, but instead of strobing on and off, maybe to the beat they're changing colors. And then maybe the color's changing to these, but they're on all the time. You know? Why couldn't we have nice usable programs like that? Number 2, let's see here. I had a list of them in my head before we started this. I would like to be able to just turn the UV on. So if we're in, like, say, sound activation mode, maybe we're in auto mode, I would love to not hit this manual button, but when you're in sound activated mode, be able to just hit UV and the UV just come on solid and stay on until I press UV and it goes off. Or say I want to do a quick crowd blinder, like song's going on and I want to do just white light crowd blind quick. Why not just be able to hit the white button? Now these buttons do stuff, so I'm gonna throw this in it's in auto right now. Now, so if I hit UV, it does the exact same thing, on off, it just is UV. And maybe people use that, I don't. And if you do white, it's just, does the exact same thing, but now the par cans are all just solid white. And I think to get back to, there we go, just hit auto again to go back to the regular different color mode. But it'd be cool to just be able to hit, in auto mode, in sound activated mode, hit white, and the white strobes come on solid and stay on until I hit white again for a crowd blind effect. If I want a nice UV wash going on, maybe while all the other lights are strobing, maybe while it's doing one of the programs, some gyms get dark at school dances, and when you have this in a mode like this where the automation is cycling through the lights and all of a sudden it goes to just the laser, the gym gets really dark. So it'd be nice to be able to just turn on the UV light so there's always a UV wash. What else did I have? I would just overall like to see the programs more usable for the mobile DJ. And I feel like it's possible with this remote. I think there's just a few programming critiques that would really make this light better. Also, the other thing I wanted to mention is you can go into manual mode. Now, if I go manual mode and hit white, I don't think that's doing anything. Actually, maybe manual mode doesn't. I don't think you have to hit the manual mode button. I think it just stays in auto and changes the color. But what I would like to see is the ability to go into a manual mode and be able to hit white and just have the white lights on. The white strobe lights. Maybe in a GigBAR 3 incorporate white LEDs into this so that you can have a true white, because at a wedding dance, before the first dances, I will usually go to the photographer and ask, do you want me to keep my lights off so that you don't have red and green laser dots all over the wedding dress that you have to edit out? And 90% of the time, the reply that I get from the photographer is, can you just turn your lights full white? And I'm like, no, I can't. This is the best I can do when it comes to hitting the white button. You still get the laser and it's just flashing all over the place. So I always say, no, I'm sorry, I can't. But for a mobile DJ, which is what this light is designed for, it would be very handy to be able to hit manual white and just whitewash the dance floor. It'd also make this light a little bit more multi-purpose for other types of events where maybe you're doing a stage wash and you want white lights, but you know, that's for a different video, I guess. But just for the mobile DJ, let's make the GigBAR 3 have better programs. Better programs. The light is great itself, the programs kind of suck. Now, I'm going to go to one more thing here. So if you are watching this video and you just want a review of the GigBAR, that's it, it's done. Here's my thing I would like to see. What if they made a modular GigBAR? So maybe, I'm not saying have GigBAR 3 be a modular GigBAR, but you know, maybe make a separate, like a GigBAR Pro, let's call it. GigBAR Pro. Where maybe it comes with lights, maybe it doesn't, but you get this bar, right? And it's got 8 spots, no spot where the laser is, but 8 spots to mount lights. You buy the bar, tripod, maybe the bag's better, maybe the case is better, maybe the zippers are better, maybe the stand is a Pro stand, but you buy the GigBAR. And then it's a modular system where you buy the lights for it separately. Maybe you just want 2 par cans, so you buy 2 par cans. Maybe you want 2 derbies, so you get 2 derbies. Maybe you want 4 par cans, so you buy 4 par cans. Maybe you're doing some serious stage wash, so you buy 8 par cans. But with that being said, maybe you buy a bunch of lasers because, you know, right above the DJ you want 8 lasers just shooting out like crazy. Maybe they start to make a bigger variety of available lights for this system. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you could take the derbies, or not use the derbies, but maybe have a moving head beam that goes around, or a moving head spot with some gobos. Nothing too fancy. I'm talking maybe, I don't know if you could go much cheaper than a Intimidator 110, but I'm sure they can figure something out. Maybe it doesn't have to have gobos. Maybe it's color rotation around. Maybe it doesn't have a color wheel. Maybe it uses colored LEDs. You know, I don't know. I haven't thought this out fully. I was actually just thinking about that on my drive into the office today. That, you know, it'd be cool if there was a GigBAR Pro that was modular. 8 light spots. And, you know, an assortment of lights that you could put on it. From, you know, these are kind of beamy. Maybe they have a cob option that is more of a wash. I feel like they could really build off of what they have here and make a cool modular system where you could swap lights around and really make the light bar that works for you. And I also think it'd be pretty good for the rental business. But anyways, that's my little added bonus of, if I was to design a GigBAR from scratch, how would I do it? I'd do it modular. You know, maybe being modular, the programs would be a little tougher. You know, I don't know how many pins are in here. You probably have to have an extra pin that maybe just identifies what light it is so that the GigBAR knows when you plug a light in, oh, that's a moving head, so when I press this button, this is what's going to happen. You know, that's the whole engineering angle of it. But I feel like you could take a GigBAR to the next level, and you know, for somebody that wants 4 bars, they want GigBARs, you know, realistically, you could have a GigBAR Pro and you could turn it into a 4 bar. Or you could turn it into a GigBAR. It'd be perfect for band washes, DJ shows. You could go back and forth, you just swap the lights out. But anyways, that's my big idea. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw it down in the comments section. Until next time, have a good day.